Good day, everybody. This is Brian Brown. I want to talk to you this morning about sowing and reaping. Growing up in the southern United States, I grew up in the Mississippi Delta River region, and it's just flat. It's so flat, in fact, that it's sometimes quite depressing, especially in the wintertime. There is no color, and you can see for miles and miles and miles. And it's really boring in the wintertime. Summertimes are beautiful. They're extremely hot. The flatland is not that good for summer, as far as it gets a little swampy when it rains, and there are a lot of mosquitoes. But anyway, that's not what this lesson about. What this lesson about is sowing and reaping. And it's a principle that's a long-standing principle in any culture that you talk to. Sowing and reaping is something that any culture can identify with. But it holds some principles true for us as far as building our business, or building any business, becoming successful, being an entrepreneur, being successful in a relationship. No matter what it is that you're working on, sowing and reaping always works. I think one of the challenges that we face today is what I call the difference between the cereal box generation and the microwave generation, and then the participation trophy generation. Let me explain that. So the cereal box generation is that generation that's, post World War II to about 1965. The late baby boomers. They grew up in an era where there was a secret prize in the box, in the cereal box, and but their parents made them wait until they had eaten down to the bottom of the box before they could get that prize. When my generation came along, we were the microwave generation, so we would not wait to finish the box of cereal. We would actually dive our hand down in the box. And some of you guys out there know what I'm talking about. You can relate to this. Put your hand down in the box and just dig that prize out. And we were the microwave generation. If you can turn the timer on 3 minutes, you can get most anything. So, and we got accustomed to that. And it changes our mindset as a culture. And then, now we have the millennials, and the millennials are this participation trophy generation in that, they grew up with this mindset that if you played a sport and participated, you got a trophy, and you were rewarded whether you did anything or not. And there's somewhat of an expectation of immediate gratification now, with all of those generations, but it seems to get worse with each passing generation. So the aspect of sowing and reaping is so important to understand, just as a kind of a philosophical mindset, because in sowing and reaping, it takes time. Farmers are some of the most patient people I've ever met. I've never met a farmer that was really high strung. Farmers are generally pretty laid back. A lot of farmers that I know complain all the time that, this year was horrible. We didn't get enough rain. The pests were too bad. They ate our crops. The yield wasn't good enough. The weeds just overtook us. It's always something. But that's a totally another lesson for another day. But what I want to get to is they typically are pretty patient, and when you're sowing, when you're planting a seed, you have to take what a farmer would call fallow, Fallow, fallow ground, which is hard, unworked ground, and you have to turn that ground into something that's workable. And a lot of times in life, whether it's relationships or business, as I said earlier, we have to take that fallow ground, that hard ground, that ground that's not been worked, and we have to get it ready. We have to get it ready for production. We have to get it ready for seed planting. And there's so much that has to go into that. So that's one step in the process. And then we have to create our rows, and then we have to plant the seed, and then we have to wait. And nobody likes to wait. But waiting is part of the process. It's part of the joy of getting the harvest months later. So I know in life, and especially nowadays, we want things right now because we're so accustomed to getting that. But sometimes it takes a little patience to receive that reward, to receive that harvest. We have to enjoy the process. It is a journey. And we need to enjoy the journey every step of the way, from the back-breaking labor of breaking the ground, getting the ground ready for planting. The back-breaking labor of actually doing the planting, and then waiting. That's sometimes the hardest labor of all, is just the waiting. And then when harvest time comes, it occurs so quickly. We've waited all of these months in the preparation and the planning, and then all of a sudden harvest time is here, and it's right on us, and we have this abundance of reward that we got from our labor, and it feels good. It feels really, really good, and it's actually what spurns us on to do the next season of planting and harvesting. In the online world, planting and harvesting can seem like an eternity when things are digital and we expect them to be a little bit faster. And but there's a time for a list of prospects or leads to mature. It takes time for those things. It takes time to build community and trust with a group of people. And once that happens, once you reach that crescendo, then everything else just takes over, and it takes on a life of its own. And then we reap this great reward. And then we're ready to say, okay, let's take some of that reward and let's plant that back into another field and start another project. And we do that. And that's how you grow and grow and grow and grow. And then you look back 2, 3, 4, 5 years from where you were or where you are at this point, and you go, oh my God, I can't believe how far I've come. I can't believe how much I've reaped during that time. So be patient, enjoy the journey, enjoy every step of the process, the preparing of the ground, the planting of the seed, the watering, the fertilizing, and there's just the waiting and then the harvest. So hope this was helpful to somebody. I trust that it was, and you guys have a wonderful day.